but still it's there, is that we have a separation of powers. We have three branches of government. We have legislatures who are elected. We have legislators. We have the executive branch in the states headed by the president, but in our system headed by either the prime minister and or the premier, depending upon whether it's provincial or federal, and the cabinet. And we have the courts. So legislature, executive, and courts. It's the checks and balances model. The idea is, well, if you have different branches with different jobs, they'll be able to check each other's power. Okay. That may have worked from time to time. Here's our constitutional crisis. It is not that they are fighting. It's that they all agree. They all agree. Now, they have their disputes and their quarrels, sure. But in the big picture, they all agree. What do they agree about? They agree that the job of the state is to manage society. That's it. And, moreover, the people largely agree. And as long as you have that, you got nothing. You can maybe occasionally change bad policy to slightly better policy. You can change bad abuse to slightly less bad abuse. You can fix a particular issue, perhaps, sometimes. You can defeat one government and elect a new one in the hope that the new one would do something that the old one did not. But this is not a select your leader problem. What you have is a system problem. And the constitutional mistake is this. A long time ago, there was a king. Well, lots of kings. But in England, the king was the law. You had a concentration of power in one person. And eventually, they said, this won't do. When the king says, off with her head, she loses her head. So what are we going to do? Here's what they did. They said, we're going to take power from the king, and we're going to move it. We're going to move it from the king to an elected legislature. So that legislature will represent the people, and it is the legislature that will make the laws. And hallelujah, power to the people. Here's the problem. Over time, the people found that legislatures could be tyrants too. And so they said, we have another problem. What are we going to do? The Americans came along first and said, well, we're going to have some rights. We're going to create a Bill of Rights. And we're going to create those rights so that the people, as individuals, can limit what legislatures can do. Great, so now we have rights, except there's a problem. How are the rights enforced? Well, that depends upon courts. So here's what we've done so far. We started with a king. We took power from the king and gave it to legislatures. They turned out to be tyrants too. We took power from legislatures and gave it to courts. Oh, but now it turns out that the courts are activists, and they're making policies that we don't like. So let me ask you a question. Where should the power lie? If the problem is the legislatures and the courts, and by the way, the king came back on the scene not as a king, the king is still there, but there's somebody else sitting in the throne now, the executive branch of government, and that is the deep state. The bureaucratic managerial state.